Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 54. Let's get started. Dream, dreamt, dreamt. Dream, dreamt, dreamt. Nightmare, nightmare. Dream, dreamt, dreamt are the three forms of dream. Nightmare is a bad dream. Do you dream very much at night? Do you dream very much at night? Yes, I dream. Yes, I dream very much at night. What do we call a bad dream? What do we call a bad dream? We call a bad dream a nightmare. What are the three forms of dream? What are the three forms of dream? The three forms of dream are dream, dreamt, dreamt. What did you dream about last night? What did you dream about last night? I dreamt about food last night. Garden. Garden is the place behind your house, usually with lots of flowers and trees in it. Have you got a garden at home? Have you got a garden at home? Yes, I've got. Yes, I've got a garden at home. Refuse. Refuse means to say no to something. For example, he refuses to go to school. Do you ever refuse to help other people? Do you ever refuse to help other people? No, I never. No, I never refuse to help other people. Separate. Separate means other than this one. For example, separate book. Other book than this one. Do you write your dictations in a separate book from other books? Do you write your dictations in a separate book from other books? Yes, I write. Yes, I write my dictations in a separate book from other books. Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Yes, I live. Yes, I live in a separate house from my parents. Lovely. Lovely means very nice. For example, lovely weather or lovely cup of tea. Give me an example of the word lovely, please. Give me an example of the word lovely, please. Great. So, for example, the weather's lovely today. Keep. Continue. The verb keep has many different meanings. Some of them are, for example, continue. Continue means to do something without stopping. Yeah? So, for example, keep talking or keep working. Yeah? Do not stop. Will you keep studying English until you die? Will you keep studying English until you die? Yes, I will. Yes, I will keep studying English until I die. Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are full? Do you think it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full. Have in a place. It's another meaning of keep. It means to keep something somewhere. For example, keep something in your hand. Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse or wallet? Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse or wallet? Yes, I keep. Yes, I keep my money in my pocket. Not give away. For example, we don't give away something to somebody because we still want it or we still need it. Do you keep books after you've read them? Do you keep books after you've read them? Yes, I keep. Yes, I keep books after I've read them. Stay. Stay. Stay means the same as remain. What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? The best way to keep warm on a cold day is to wear a thick coat. 1. You. We. They. Mean. In general. Necessarily. In particular. Ticket. Necessarily means it doesn't have to be like that. In general means generally. In particular is the opposite of in general. And tickets, for example, this. It's a theater ticket. So, when we use the words one, you, we, and they, we sometimes mean people in general. The word they means other people, not us. For example, we say, if one goes to the cinema, one must buy a ticket. Or, if you go to the cinema, you must buy a ticket. Or, if we go to the cinema, we must buy a ticket. As an example of they, we can say, they don't sell food at clothes shop. When I say, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket, I don't necessarily mean you in particular, but people in general. We generally use the word you more than the words one and we. What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? When we use the words one, you, we, and they, we sometimes mean people in general. In the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you must buy a ticket. The word you doesn't necessarily mean me in particular, but people in general. Which do we generally use the most? One, you, or we? Which do we generally use the most? One, you, or we? We generally use you the most. What must you do if you want to speak a language well? What must you do if you want to speak a language well? You must study. You must study a lot. Repeat, and repeat if you want to speak a language well. What do you have to do if you want to stay healthy? What do you have to do if you want to stay healthy? You must eat healthy food, sleep well, and do exercise. What must you do if you want to remember something well? What must you do if you want to remember something well? You must repeat often if you want to remember something well. Where can we buy a drink when we're thirsty? Where can we buy a drink when we're thirsty? We can buy a drink We can buy a drink from a bar when we are thirsty. Which country must we go to if we want to hear people speaking Greek? Which country must we go to if you want to hear people speaking Greek? We must go. We must go to Greece if you want to hear people speaking Greek. What does one do when one's hungry? What does one do when one's hungry? One eats. One eats when one's hungry. Do they sell drinks at most cinemas? Do they sell drink at most cinemas? Yes, they. Yes, they sell drinks at most cinemas. That's the end of lesson 54. Thank you for your attention.